What's up, you guys? I'm gonna train some glutes and some back today. Cool, so welcome to my YouTube channel. Super excited to have you guys here. Today we are going to be going through a glute and pull workout. I'm also going to be telling you guys what you can expect from this channel and doing it all with my best dude, Mr. Josh Levine, my boyfriend, my life partner, my business partner. So let's get into it. We are training legs a lot, training them 3 times a week right now. So my knees definitely get overloaded. They get worked really, really hard. So I like to wear some knee sleeves. These are just some cheap guys from Amazon. But I have to get new ones every once in a while because they get stinky.
Yeah, they do the job. It's like a nice little warm hug for your knees, but it's not, you're not bouncing out of the bottom or anything. It's not giving you that kind of support. If I want that, I usually wrap on top of it.
See, big thing about wraps though, I can't put them on without cutting off the circulation of my feet. Like
Well,
there's a 0% chance that I am gonna get through a set with knee wraps on and still feel my toes. Your goal is never to go up when you're doing an RDL, when you're doing a sumo. It's to push your hips back and then push them forward, initiating it with the glutes and hands. Oh, hammer.
That'll do.
All right, we got 8 there. So I have been a big proponent of tracking my lifts. A lot of people like to do it on their phone. I'm very old school. I like a piece of paper and a pen. And then when I track my lifts, I like to take a lot of data with it. So I will throw up here whether I'm in a cut, how far into the cut I am, as well as if I'm on a deload or if it's just a regular training to failure week. And then I'll also track my menstrual cycle, which for women can have such a massive impact on your training. So your hormones are fluctuating and your strength is going to be decreased on the week of your cycle. So keeping track of that allows me to then go back and compare it to the last time I was on that day in my cycle to make sure that my strength is holding consistent from that baseline as opposed to the baseline of when I don't feel like garbage. So a little bit more about me. I am co-owners with my partner Josh of the Metal Saints Lifting Co. We coach lifestyle, we coach bodybuilders, and we coach functional health people. Right now I have 5 or 6 people in prep that are going to be competing in the coming weeks. So my hands are super, super busy with that. We also own a clothing brand that I started and founded, Metal Saints, which is what we're wearing. And we're gonna share with you guys the story of that, how it came into inception, what it means, why we're doing it. It's a really special story to me, to us, and we're really passionate about it. So, but right now we're gonna get into some Nordic curls. Josh is gonna explain what they are and how they work. It is wild how, regardless of like which dominance you are, whether you be hamstring, glute, or quad,
How much easier it is.
How much easier the connection is to that body part.
Like you have to really think about getting your glutes and hamstrings to fire on this.
I use such a specific machine to do it too.
Mine, I'm just like, They just want to take over.
We'll just move this low.
But on this, I actually get more just lower hamstring, which I think is what most people get on the lying hamstring curl.
Yeah.
But I can keep my hips pressed into the pad a lot better on that.
On that?
On that than this.
Fair.
Yeah.
This I do
This is
feel
also
like
just so heavy.
I mean, I think that
Like,
means
it's so
you're
hard.
heavy, dude.
Huh?
I think that means you're so heavy. It's not the machine, y'all.
That's the progressive overload as you go through off season. You get the same number of reps, but you just get heavier.
Maybe that's why they're getting easier.
It's like pull-ups.
Oh my God, I have pull-ups right now too, y'all.
Bro, I'm not excited.
160 pounds off the ground? No, thank you.
So you see when she sets this up, she wants to be able to drive her knee into this pad so that she can keep her hips pressed in and pull up. If you're too far forward, it's gonna be nearly impossible. If you're too far back, it'll be too easy. So if you find it's too hard for you, try driving that foot peg back a little bit and it should make it a little bit easier. It's all levers. They were going.
Whew. I also feel like I'm getting out of your truck whenever I get off of that.
Like you're getting out of my truck?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
We got a new truck this year. It's a Trail Boss. It is lifted, but there are no running boards. So my ass is jumping in there.
She was like, when are you gonna get running boards? I was like, when it stops getting funny every time you try to get into it.
After leg day, it does not happen. I kind of just like flail into it. You'll notice that he's not breaking this line from his knees up to his shoulders. If you start to break it, you're gonna get a little bit more lower back flexion, and it's gonna leave the glutes and hams a little bit. So we are both bodybuilder competitors. I competed for my first time in 2017. Don't go on NPC archive. I shouldn't have been on stage, y'all.
I feel like no one should their first time.
Yeah, my very first show was, I mean, I don't want to say it was a joke, but I was figuring out what I was getting myself into. And then I realized that I absolutely love this sport. I love the habitual nature of it. I love practicing the self-discipline that's required to hit your meals, your cardio, your training, everything like that. And so then I really started taking it seriously in 2018. Hired my first real coach in 2019, and then stepped on stage for the first time. Ended up being 2021. We were actually both in prep during COVID, and then shows canceled a few weeks out. So it was supposed to be 2020, but ended up being 2021. Since then, I've only competed in the figure division, but over the years, I've definitely put on a decent amount of tissue. And so my coach and I have decided that we are going to be competing in both figure and women's physique division this next year, which I am wildly excited about and also incredibly nervous. I'm gonna have to do a posing routine, and I'm gonna have to do 4 more poses on stage at least. So I'm really excited. I'm also really nervous. And then once I do get my pro card, we are going to be sticking to figure. That is my calling, that's where I wanna be. But at this present time, in the amateur level, I do think it's appropriate that I cross over into both figure and women's physique. With that, my training has changed pretty significantly. At this point, I'm not really trying to pack on a lot of tissue. I'm trying to clean up my current body composition, lose a little bit of fat and hold on to the tissue that I have, but not necessarily accumulate any more. And then I'm going to hold that out through the beginning of next year. And then we're going to hop into a prep around springtime, late winter, early spring, and do some summer shows, which I'm really excited about. I've never prepped during the summer. I've only ever done winter and missed Thanksgiving the past 3 years. So I'm really ready to eat some turkey this year.
I hope I can.
Yeah, you can too.
We'll see what Johnny wants.
This year though. Oh, you mean next year? Yeah, next year. Yeah. So that is the plan for now. Josh is also a competitor. He competes in men's classic physique. Did his first show last year. We actually did a prep together, which was an interesting experience. It was actually amazing.
It was great. I feel like couples talk about they can't prep together, and I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, so our first year together, I prepped in 2021 alone, and we were long distance.
Yeah.
So that was fucking wild.
Yeah, it was tough.
And then in 2022, we prepped together, and like he said, like it was way more smooth of an experience. Understanding like where your partner's at from an energy level, empathetically, not even just sympathetically, makes such a massive difference to the experience.
Yeah, we were much more understanding of each other, and like gave each other more grace. And I feel like couples talk about that they can't prep together because they both get too short. I don't feel like we ever got like that.
I think like around 6 weeks out, like after 5 p.m., if we didn't have to talk for work, we just didn't talk.
We just like had our meal, like went for our walk, got in bed, and then like passed out.
Just like mumbled at each other.
Yeah, like I love you, good night, turned into like, So I know not everybody loves reverse band in their hack squats, but I personally like it. My knees definitely like it. The band makes it so that it's lighter in the bottom and heavier at the top. So it's the heaviest you can handle in the bottom, it's the heaviest you can handle in the middle, and it's the heaviest you can handle at the top.
So another big thing that I don't think a lot of people necessarily talk about when they talk about compound movements specific to leg training and back training, you want to wear flat shoes. We want to be able to easily manipulate whether the weight is in the heel or in the ball of the foot. So for hamstring glute movements, you typically want to keep that weight over your heel, and you're going to keep the knee over the heel as well. And then when you're trying to hit more quad dominant, you're going to put the weight towards the ball of your foot and have your knees more forward as well. So that'll give you a good indicator of whether you're working the anterior or posterior side of your leg. It's based on where your weight is in your foot and where your knee is relative to your heel. Good, let's go. Come on, keep moving. Yes, you can. Good. More. Get up. Good. Come on, keep rolling. Tap in. Up, let's go. Come on. I got you.
Get up, again. Come on. Good. That's you. Come on. Breathe, set. Okay, let's go. Good. Get up. Good. Come on, again. Yep. Breathe, set, let's go. Get up, that's good. Yep. Come on, legs. Yes, you can, let's go. Good. That was a good try.
None of that, brother. We are a one and done around here. Oh my God.
Shut up.
Do you get Botox? You just look like that? Oh my God. Wow. Give the people your skin routine. Cool, so we have some hip thrusts. Again, today is like a glute pump day for me, so it's going to be higher rep, higher volume, which is good to get that blood flow in, but it definitely stings in a different kind of way. So yeah, we have 4 sets of 12 to 15 here.
What's up?
Yeah, we'll get into it. We are looking to primarily target glutes. These are super commonly misperformed. A lot of times what you'll see is some flexion.
Do you want me to do it wrong?
Oh, I just heard your back pop.
No, that was this.
Oh.
Yeah, do you want me to do them wrong?
Yeah, do them wrong. So a lot of times what you'll see is
It feels so weird.
a lot of hip, like actual hip thrusting and back flexion. So what you want to do is keep from the top of your head down to the bottom of your tailbone in a straight line, that you are only pivoting at the point of your hips to drive the hips up. When we take that back flexion out of it, we take a significant load off of that lower back and put all of it into the glutes. And you do get a little bit of hamstrings as well, based on foot placement, and then also keeping that back completely flat.
I had flown down here to Austin for a team meetup for our last bodybuilding team. And we're all taking a picture. There's like, I don't know, 20 of us. And some dude, one of our friends in the back, not some dude, our friend John, right as they're about to take the picture, he's like, Josh has small calves. Everybody laughed. Because like I did, and I still kind of do.
40 or 50 of us. There was a decent amount of people. Yeah. So he put Josh on blast in front of everyone.
And Lex was like, who's Josh with the small calves? I was like, it was me. He's like, they ain't that bad. And then we kept talking.
He had really white shoes.
That's how we met.
I was super impressed by how white the shoes were thereafter.
Way more than the calves.
Way more than the calves. Those shoes were white. And I could not keep my shoes white to save my life. And I asked him, how do you keep them shoes so white? And he gave me this like long ass routine of like baking soda, like bleaching, sun soaking, like this very ridiculously long bullet list of everything you need to do to keep your shoes white. And then at the end, this bastard goes, oh yeah, I just bought these, they're brand new.
Nah, I just buy new ones.
You want to get some honeys?
If you can believe
shoes
it,
white.
The calves have actually gotten bigger since then. All right, so as Alexa gets into this, you see her foot placement is different than mine was. She's shorter, she got shorter legs. But a good rule of thumb for foot placement, the wider your feet are, the more adductor you're gonna get on the inside of the leg. We're trying to primarily target the glutes. If your feet are too far away from you, then you're gonna get more hamstring. If they're too close, then you're gonna get more quad. What you're looking for is for the knee to be stacked pretty much directly over the ankle at the top of the movement, which is a little different because of the angle of this pad in the machine. But if the feet are too close, the knee will be in front of the ankle, you'll get more quad. If it's too far away, the knee will be behind the ankle, you'll get more hamstring. How was that?
Guys will never really know what taking a bra off feels like when you take your bra off at the end of the day. The knee sleeves are like a very close second. So we have hit all of our main big compound movements for legs. We also hit some hip abduction, some stiff leg deadlifts, and some glute kickbacks, a little bit more accessory movement for the posterior chain of the lower body. So we're gonna move on to some back. It's primarily just a pump again. So we're gonna be doing a lot of lat movements today. So we'll take you through that. We're gonna start with some unilateral lat pull downs. I like to start with a unilateral movement because it helps to warm up the back one side at a time. And then when you get to move on to bilateral movements, you can feel equal recruitment of each side. It's also good for being able to assess if maybe you have something locked up. Right now I'm dealing with a little bit of trouble in my infra, so I'm trying to work through that. It doesn't affect pull as much as it does push, but I definitely still feel it.
So while she's doing these, you'll notice she's trying to keep that bicep pointed up directly towards the ceiling. When that bicep starts to point in and your arm internally rotates, she's gonna lose the trap. It's gonna turn on the teres, major, minor. She wants the low lat. She keeps the bicep pointed up the whole time, drives the elbow down towards the hip. And shoulder away from her ear.
One thing you want to think about when you're getting that arch and that bend over that he's talking about is if you notice when he pulls that elbow down, it's staying directly below the shoulder. So he's not upright and having that elbow come out a little bit. He's tilted so that as he pulls down, that elbow comes down directly in line with the shoulder. Adjusting any specific movement to both what you're trying to bring up and target, as well as what works best for your body mechanics, is something that'll come with training maturity, but it's definitely something to play around with as you're learning movements. Yo, horrible confession. I, in college, signed up for astronomy thinking it was astrology. I thought I was gonna learn about my horoscopes and shit. I got in there and I was not pleasantly surprised. I don't need a bench to get up to the pull-ups. Bing bong, all right.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. If you don't do your pull-ups with straps, what are you doing?
Sounds so hard.
Without straps?
Yeah.
You got those, what's that guy's name?
Frank McGrath.
You got those Frank McGrath forearms.
Come on.
Okay, that felt like I was on the fucking, what the fuck is the movie?
Dirty Dancing.
No, Lion King. Come on. You
get up there, I was just
are the chosen one.
It goes this way.
Oh, that's what I meant.
This is like Ash Wednesday.
Oh, shit. This makes me feel super jacked. Yeah. You ready? Chest stays broad, shoulders stay broad. Again, we're just getting a pump here. Get a little blood circulation and nutrient flow into the muscles. On these, you want to make sure that you're driving your wrist towards your lower rib cage to really get that lat flare. Whereas if you want to target more center and upper back, you have your elbows straight out to the side.
So she's keeping her torso nice and upright. She's not swaying back and forth.
Let me do this.
There you go.
Oh my God, stop.
All right, so as she's executing these, she's keeping her torso very upright. She's not swaying back and forth like you see some people do. She's keeping her chest up. She's squaring her lats the entire time and driving her elbows down towards her hips and almost around her body to target the lats down here. Chest up as she goes forward. Good. And you'll notice she's now driving her elbows super far back. If she goes too far back, it's gonna engage the traps and the upper back. She's stopping about even with her torso. I really like this attachment, which is a prime grip. Not all gyms have them. If you train at like a commercial gym, you probably don't have these, but it's nice because you can make it like exactly the width that you want. If you don't have one of these, what I like to do is I'll get the preacher attachment, this one, and I'll just take my normal D-rings and I'll loop it around. And this, for me, this is the perfect width. So I'm not too narrow, I'm not too wide. For a lat focused row, this is perfect for me.
So again, this is another movement that's highly dependent on your specific physique, how long your joints are, how long your torso is relative to your limbs, your arms, and your legs, specifically in this movement, your arms. So you want to choose an attachment that's going to work well for your structure. I do much better narrow. If I go too wide, I end up getting a lot of trap and upper back.
Yeah, completely opposite.
Whereas he does a lot better with a bit wider to target those lats.
Yeah, if someone tells you like you gotta use this attachment or that attachment or you have to do this exercise, Probably don't listen to that person. Everything's highly individualized. Whatever works best for you is what's gonna work best for you.
So again, you'll notice he's keeping his shoulders really far away from his ears. He's not letting his shoulder blades come together as he pulls back, keeping everything very broad, scapula retracted, and pulling the handle down towards his waist to target those lats. Another thing you'll notice, especially something that I do, is when I set up, I have my feet at the very bottom of the footrest. A lot of times if you have your feet too high, your knees end up getting in the way of when you're pulling, and you'll end up having to lift your arms up or your shoulders up either way, and then you're gonna get more trap.
Again, this is lat focus, so she's dropping her elbows down and back. If she wanted to target the traps, she would keep her elbows higher and drive them out and back, like that.
Wrong attachment.
Which is the wrong attachment for this, but lat's gonna be elbows down and back.
That was not long enough of a break between those 2 sessions.
I never wear makeup.
Well, you're beautiful. You don't need
You're
to.
beautiful, you don't need it either.
Thanks, Mama. You too. All right, so when you're doing these, you want to keep the arms a consistent distance away from the body. So I'm not pulling down or shrugging my shoulders around. I'm keeping a slight bend in the arms and then just pulling them down to my thighs to isolate that serratus and get some front lat working. You lost
Well, now
your
I
mic.
don't have my mic. So the serratus is your shark gills.
It's your little shark gills.
Yeah, they're your little shark gills. What they do is they pull the bottom tip of your scapula. So your scapula is shaped kind of like this, right? The bottom tip, it pulls it.
Those guys.
It pulls it against the back of the rib cage. So we're trying to target the serratus and then that front lat.
Gives you a lot of good shape on all of your front poses if you are in a division that showcases a lat spread. Thanks for joining us, guys, on this little glute and pull day. We have a lot more coming for you, so thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Gotcha.